Okay. That should be working. It doesn't like I can hear my fan, which is good. So, okay. The announcements thing. You'd think I'd be better at this point. Okay, so today, a little bit more of the same. We're going to start with that bug fix because I couldn't find it last night. And we're going to go from there. And hopefully, Restream is working, so YouTube and Twitch messages will both make it at least into the chat, which will be good. Have a bit more interactivity. So, why would we keep signing out is the question. So let's go over here. So we're signed in. Let's clear that out. Go in here. Connection. Oh, that's probably... well, that one's easily explained. That's pebcac. That's okay. When that's up and running, we refresh. And we've lost connection, so let's log out. Let's clear that out. We log in. Navigate. Connected. Everything's working fine. We refresh. With the planning items. And we've errored. So just the refresh is doing that now. Now, is that because, hold on, is that because I'm not, well, let's put something to the test. If I close the developer tools and log out, I mean, if it is, that's a bad thing, but, worth figuring out, right? So we go in here, we can navigate around, if we reload, we have a problem. That is really odd. Why is that happening? I mean, if we can't reload this at all, then we've got a problem, right? So this has to be. If I reload, I'm logged out. What would introduce that though? So I haven't introduced any new, sorry. So in changing the layout, I haven't introduced any new components. I haven't introduced, changed the default layout, but there's nothing to do with the markup that would do that. So what would trigger? Hold on. I've got a feeling this logout button's doing it. Hold on, let's remove the logout button. The irony. But why isn't that redirecting? So the problem is this should be redirecting when it detects that you're not logged in, it should redirect. If I go here, yeah, I get the sign-in page. It knows I'm not logged in. Now I am logged in. If I reload, why do I get that? Let's put the original option in for logout. Again, the challenge there is prime G. So the original code for this, GitHub, or Git rather, not GitHub in this case. Go here. Default layout. So initially we had log. Hey Dota, how you doing? Oh, that's going to be confusing. So I got the Restream bot working, and it posts. It should now post if someone posts in YouTube, it should post into Twitch chat and onto the screen as well. But the challenge is I now see it twice. So when you said hello there, Restream bot told me that you said that it had restreamed that into YouTube. So I'm going to see everyone's messages twice. That's going to make reading text really hard. Yeah. I don't know if I can turn that setting off either. Time to read it straight off Twitch. Well, the problem is I've got the... I don't think I can actually toggle. Send YouTube chat messages at the bot. I can't use Trovo. Highlights. Yeah, I can't control that. Ugh. Is there an option 3? I'll shut down the bot. Well, this is the best way to get... So the messages go into YouTube with this, right? So I'm seeing all your messages in YouTube, and if I say hello in YouTube, right, you'll see my message in Twitch, in theory, in a second. Right, so that gives me the that gives me the benefit of being able to join the two communities, or build a community on YouTube. Actually, that would be better. But now my ability to read it is, I can't. Oh, maybe I can filter it. No. Oh, I can. No, Twitch events. Well, that's frustrating. Streaming on YouTube in this manner probably isn't worth it. But, well, streaming to YouTube, I get the benefit of having, I get the advantage of having the VODs, and the VODs actually do get watched. The viewer numbers do climb after the streams. So people are watching the content later. And I don't have to then worry about whether I want to upload something to. They also just don't bother with YouTube chat. I think it's worth it for very little cost to me. This is a bit more challenging because obviously the restream stuff means that it's a little harder to follow for me. But it doesn't bother you because it doesn't affect the Twitch chat. It just affects my ability to read it. So I mean, I see it clearly, right? I see the icon next to you is purple, but then when you message something, it gives me the red play button with the restream bot saying that it's restreamed your message to Twitch to YouTube. Question the value. Yeah. Well, there have been people in YouTube recently, and I want to make sure that, you know, if I can join the chats, that would be awesome, because then people on YouTube. So some people can't go onto Twitch, which is why I started with the YouTube anyway. They're blocked from Twitch, but they're not blocked from YouTube. So they can go into the YouTube stream and watch, but then the problem is you're kind of isolated out there. You know, we've had a few people recently that have been chatting, and their chat doesn't go anywhere because you don't see it unless I read it out. And if you're not listening or not following, then it's kind of wasted for them. So, yeah. So I'll persevere for now. I just know that there's noise, and maybe I'll learn to read it. Okay, so the app logout button was always in the page. That is not new. So I've not introduced anything necessarily bad in doing that. Awesome. I've been able to detect errors better lately. It's a shocking process. The observability. Observability in what manner? Sorry, I realised I got a smear on my glasses. Login stuff. Nothing new with the methods. Okay. So why is this logging me out? It's annoying, it causes self-doubt. How much do you fix? Because you got, I mean, depending on how you introduce those logs, etc., you've got a fire hose of noise, right? Now you're seeing them. It feels personal. Yeah. we're always like, can we release even with X problem? Why does this not maintain this? I haven't changed this code, but I've logged out. Application. Yeah, it's clear. Well, assuming it's keeping my token somewhere. Hey Patrick, how you doing? It goes well. Just oh. Dog's defending the house. Just stuck on a little problem right this second. I have an issue where it's logging me out if I refresh the screen. Or it's not necessarily logging me out, but it's not. It's Apollo errors. Doesn't persist state. That's another. Right, but it was working. I haven't changed the actual code. That's the curious thing, right? I'm not. The layout has changed, but nothing about the code underneath has changed. So I'm not sure if I've introduced something that's leaving daytime stuff. I don't think so. So let me log out. So I've tried it with and without. So I've verified that it's not a developer tools being open problem. Caching is enabled, right? I didn't think it would be that, but I've verified that if I close the developer tools, it still behaves this way. So I go to log in, right? I remember the password now, finally. So now, if I go to planning items, I have my list of planning items. I can navigate down into them, that's fine. Right, this is the dialogue we worked on yesterday. But now if I refresh, error, Apollo error. So this is as if the request to Apollo, which I don't see any messages going back and forth there, right? Apollo link subscriptions, that's all. I haven't checked. I updated Apollo. I'm not doing anything explicitly to store it. I'm using Auth0's library. So however they do it, which doesn't look like, well, let's have a look. Let's verify that. Let's see if they do store it anywhere. So they don't store. There you go. There's the Auth0 tokens, right? So there's a cookie with the Auth0 stuff. I can navigate in there. But now if I refresh, what is that about? Two issues. Reading cookie in cross-site context will be blocked in future Chrome versions. So refreshing deletes them. And it's something to do with the cross-site, but this was working previously. So Chrome is clamping down on that. But that's I mean, I need to do that. That's a development requirement. I can't not do this. Cookies with the same site non-secure and not partition attributes that operate in cross-site contexts of third-party cookies in future Chrome versions. Really? And then probably Safari kills it too. Sometimes I really hate how much browsers are enforcing rules. It's for security and privacy reasons. I get why, but in future Chrome versions, reading third-party cookies will be blocked. This behavior protects user data from cross-site tracking. I get that it's a security issue, but what do I do here? It's infuriating, but security always is. If only everyone was honest. Learn more button. To facilitate, Chrome has restricted third-party cookies by default for 1% of Chrome stable clients. Does that mean I'm special? During this testing period, it's important for sites and services to start preparing for third-party cookie restrictions, including moving to more private alternatives, subject to addressing any remaining competition concerns. Cause is the bane of my web dev existence, but I recently learned a content security policy. Congrats, you're special. You need to set it, but you cannot. But we have libs that use inline.js, so we set it, it won't work. We don't care. So we're going to get more pop-ups asking us about the granularity of the cookies, so we can click buttons that say I don't care and completely bypass all this. Let's go look. Auth0, what's it called? Third-party cookie restrictions. Another great thing in future Chrome is that they're going to remove the bug that allows people to implement ad blockers. Ah, awesome. No one is getting away from glorious 40-second ads on YouTube. Reason that I avoid web dev. Oh dear. Oh, don't you dare put this behind a paywall. No. Refresh token rotation. Okay. Let's go check that out. Did you just implement Auth0 wrong? Sorry. Now I use YouTube so much. YouTube, I don't want a subscription. Is there a simpler answer? Did you just implement Auth0 wrong? It's also why I don't use Chrome for anything besides the dev tools. Yeah, you kind of have to make it work on Chrome, right? But let's have a look. Did I implement Auth0 wrong? No, I followed their guide. Did I miss some options that are available to me that I didn't know to set? Potentially. I'm going to drag this off screen. Yeah, so yeah. So I'm fortunate. So if I open this in another browser, I'll probably be fine. So I guess I'm fortunate that I have been blessed with being in the 1%. Applications. We aren't sure about the 1%, although it seems like it. Yeah. Okay, ad breaks going to run. APIs, applications, good sky. Allow calls. Refresh token rotation is not turned on. When enabled, as a result of exchanging a refresh token, a new refresh token will be issued and the existing token will be invalidated. This allows for automatic detection of token reuse if the token is leaked. In addition, an absolute expiration lifetime must be set. I can't turn it on. Why can't I turn it on? Oh no. Just got the weirdest Twitch ad. Five seconds of only audio. Huh. No. Dang it. Just muted you. Never seen that before. Just muted you. Didn't minimize video and played whatever jingle for something. To be fair, though, I'm on my phone and have ad blockers on my PC, so this could have been a thing for a while and I've never noticed. Gotcha. That refresh thing was broken for a while. Well, it's broken this week. It was not broken last week. This was working fine. I could refresh 100% last week. Easy way to prove it, right, is to open Edge. So I assume, that does not look as nice in Edge. If we go here, the Navigate. That is very interesting. Bitdefender as well. Installed Bitdefender just to prove to my daughter that it wasn't a pain in the bum. It's doing it in here as well. Which is, I mean, if it's not that, then that's great. But I can't turn on that feature in the free version of Auth0. It looks like I can't see anything that says it's behind a paywall, but I can't toggle that feature, the refresh token rotation. I can't toggle it. What changes went in to what? Auth0 stuff? The problem is there's a lot of stuff in here. Auth0 didn't change. The Auth0 library didn't change. Angular updated to the latest version. Apollo updated to the latest version. I could roll back that and see if that makes a difference, but no, because it's the Auth0 cookie that's disappearing that's the problem, not the 20th. I don't know, because I didn't have the app working properly until last week. Whenever I was working on this, decided to do this step. So last Thursday, Friday, we started this, and then the app wasn't even up and running again until Monday or Tuesday this week, where I was finally getting to log into the application. So it could have been doing it for longer, but it was working last week when I was testing it. When I finished up the project's refactor. Okay, so even Edge did that though, so that suggests that's not the problem. I wonder if you missed a config setting. Seems most likely. Config setting. Wow, I didn't change any of the config other than the. I didn't modify any of the config. This was the only thing I changed. I haven't logged this is the first time I've logged into Auth0 in 2 or 3 weeks because I haven't needed to touch it. So I haven't changed the library. The library has not updated. Let's check. Let's go. Actually, that's a fair point though. Let's check to see which version they're on. So I haven't changed the library. I haven't logged into Auth0. Really? npm.js. Not in the NASDAQ. Yeah, 4 months ago. 223. I'm on the latest version of Auth0. Although knowing Auth0, they'll change it again. I haven't messed with this configuration. Sign in. Okay. Legacy Auth0. Auth0. Okay, so that creates the cookies, but it creates it in localhost. However, the domain on 4 of them is not the same. Same site, none. Oh, wow, you added a bot. That's nice. Hey, I got no skills. Yeah, I was trying to get it so that it at least posts the content into you in YouTube, and then you can kind of chat back and forth with. It's a little delayed, but it's better than nothing. Hey, Keyboard Cowboy, if someone can recreate the first level of Super Mario World in CSS, you can change the color. Recreate the first level of Super Mario in CSS. I can change the color. Yeah. Still hard. So what we're stuck on right now is, and I kind of need it for, I need to do this. So I'm actually not stuck in CSS right this second. We have the application running in the startings of the new layout. But the problem is if I refresh the screen, if I refresh the screen, my cookie goes away because it doesn't like this. It doesn't like these same site nons. So I get to learn about that, I think. Off 0. As of February 2020, Google Chrome changed the way it handles cookies. Okay, so that's what. So the legacy thing is to try and make sure it definitely works. But this is old stuff, right? This is 4 years ago now. These changes. Auth 0 upcoming Chrome changes. Let's do that again. Auth 0 upcoming Chrome changes 2024. That's, yeah. I feel like half of web development is just reading articles. We want the previous changes, not the upcoming. Yeah, I'm I'm trying to narrow it down a little bit because it will tell me what's coming in the. I'm trying to look for what they say is upcoming as well. That's not what I want. 2020. That's again. The pricing went up as well. So that used to be $24 a month. Something like that. It was very low. It was affordable. $35 a month, that would be ridiculously expensive for what I'm doing. So just for reference, this is the screen they're talking about, right? Being able to configure the stuff. And what they're suggesting is turning on this will overcome the problem suggested by those changes. I'm heading to work. Don't overcomplicate anything. Wow, your confidence in me is. I don't have. I mean, localhost has got to be in there because it's the callback into to to auth 0. But it's from the perspective of when you log in, when you bring up the login screen, where is it? Landing component. If I click landing registration step 1. So it's very little in from my perspective, because it's basically app login button. That's it. That's all I say. And this is all auth 0 code, right? So I don't configure anything. I don't change anything. You can configure how it behaves when it comes back. I just do login with pop-up and then it redirects. But I don't configure very, very much in there. Auth 0, here goes. So there's the audience. That's my redirect URI. Yeah, there's not much I do. So this is configured the way that auth 0 says. So we will see. I keep trying. But anyway, no, that's correct. As long as it matches, it's fine. It's where it matches in here. Not here. Where is it? There. It's matching this API. No, it's that. That's what it's got to match on. Yeah. So, but anyway, the thing they suggest is to turn this on. I don't think I can do that on the account I'm on. I don't think I can turn this mode on in remode. It doesn't tell me explicitly that it's behind the paywall, but I can make changes in here. There's nothing stopping me. Yeah. Yeah, so unless turning that off allows that, no. So I have no ability to turn that on, or absolute expiration, token sender. I can't turn these options on at all. Reroute locally, liquid sky to localhost, or add localhost as another valid host. An audience is localhost. I'll have to understand this more. Oh, hold on, refresh token. Let's see if that allows me to turn that mode on. Yes, it does. Okay, refresh token with that on. Let's see what happens now. Do you follow? If you look at those cookies, there's two hosts. So the cookies, these two are actually for legacy. They're actually to backfill that problem that they were talking about in 2020. They said that the underscore legacy problem was this underscore legacy cookie value is actually to fill that other value. So this is what it's claiming is the problem, right? That there is this domain, and that's not my audience. That's the actual domain that the auth 0 thing is hosted, and I can't change that, right? The audience is what matches, and that has to match everywhere, right? I don't control these cookies, so let's see what happens when I've toggled that setting now with the refresh tokens. Nope, same problem. It doesn't like this domain. Okay, thanks, Dota. Thank you for thank you for trying to help. I'll hopefully I'll get this sorted, and I'll post in Discord when I get an answer, because I think this is something that could help. Okay, so that does not fix it. When enabled, a refresh token will expire based on an absolute lifetime. When enabled, a result of exchanging a refresh token, a new refresh token will be issued and the existing token will be invalidated. Token sender constraining. That's assuming that I know that my client is configured for that piece. So this is a challenge for certain. One that I'm not. I wasn't intending on this today, right? So my intention is to get the layout here working better and getting the planning items in a grid. Now that seems like really easy stuff compared to what I'm dealing with. But if I don't fix this, basically every time I make a change, I've got to go and relog back into the application. So this will slow me down more. So this is a must fix problem. So it demonstrates it like this. In the console, we get Apollo errors, but third-party cookie will be blocked. Learn more in the Issues tab. So that's here, reading cookie in cross-site context. So we saw Edge do the same thing. Has Edge implemented this ahead of time, is the question. Right, open DevTools. What have you done? Okay, sign in. Log out. Sign in. So she. Okay, so we log in here. Go in here. This is weird. This is completely broken in Edge. Explain console errors by using Copilot. Now if I refresh. Okay, so it is the exact same issue. With a little bit more information by the looks of it. And it's definitely the request that's doing it. That's hilarious. At layer is not supported by Chrome, Android, Edge. What? Isn't it interesting that Chrome doesn't report any of that as well? And this is the weeds of web development. I don't care about that right this second. That's not really my concern. The concern is the cookie issue. So it is this issue. Cookies with the same site secure and not partitioned attributes that operate in cross-site context are third-party cookies. In future, Microsoft Edge, I like how they just token replace the browser name in there. Reading third-party cookies will be blocked. This behavior protects users from cross-site tracking. So auth0 must have an answer. Auth0. Cookies cross-site. But I don't get how... Oh, hold on. I'm trying to find relevant content rather than just clicking around randomly on the screen. There's lots of stuff going back 5 or 6 years on this stuff, but it looks like the first set of changes for this came around in 2020. So what we're looking at here is affected resources, these 5. Why are you doing auth0.com? Those 5 cookies in one request. Because I can't be the only one to have been affected by this. Let's close that down. I don't care about that one right now. Let's close that. So what we have, auth0, cross-site, cookies 2024. Saying goodbye to third-party cookies on the MDM blog. So if we look at, so what they're saying is, if we go in here, and I don't know why I can't type that out of touch typing, but I have to look at the keyboard for that password. It's kind of weird that this, going back to the conversation earlier about testing in different browsers, it's very weird that Edge, which is Chromium based, and Chrome do a very different job on this page so far. That's going to be a horrible challenge if that's the case. So this works. And if we go to the application cookies, we see these. And these 2 cookies specifically, the auth01 and the DID one, right? These are set to same site none, which is saying they're third-party cookies. So should validate if your same site cookies none are really still needed. Absolutely they are. Fixed critical functionality. So I'm not in control of those cookies. Auth0 is. So now going back, how do auth0 not have an answer for this already? Or do they? And I'm missing a configuration that I should have set. Dashboard settings to disable third-party cookies. Using universal login. So in auth0, you have user management, universal login. Your logo URL, save that. But I'm using universal login as far as I know. Yeah. Customize your login experience. I'm not going through this all now, surely. There we go. Ta-da! It looks amazing. Back to universal login. We can accessibility. We'll worry about that later. But as far as I'm aware, I'm using universal login. Right, because new universal login, yeah, previous no code customization options, quicker load times in classic. But I'm using universal login. Multi-factor. Yeah, all changes are live. I'm using universal login. And I've turned on rotation. Refresh token exchange rotation should be sufficient to avoid third-party cookies in the context of authentication. In terms of dashboard settings, your app should be configured to use refresh token rotation and the refresh token grant enabled. Okay, so applications. I'm just going to do it off screen for this second, just because it's way quicker than doing grant types. So they say implicit authorization code, and they turn off client credentials. And then access settings. Where are access settings? So Auth0 is good, and for this sort of stuff, I've never really had an issue with them. But it does take off this load of doing this yourself. So using something like Auth0 is good. It is difficult when you have different environments because you actually have to configure them from scratch. So you have to understand what you've turned on and why. Eli the Navigator, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. So let's log out of this and let's see what happens now when we try to log in. All right. So we go to sign in. Let's pick our user. And okay, we can still log in. That's a good first sign. However, nothing's changed. For refresh, it errors. Done. Now that's the implicit authorization code and refresh token grants. I didn't grant client credentials or password. Endpoints, grant types. And they're saying, what was the other one? Access settings. Where is access settings? In the app or the API? the API. Log out again. The changes should make immediate impact, right? They should take effect straight away. Oh, joy. Well, I wanted changes, right? There we go, that's better. Okay. Again, no changes to these cookies. These cookies are still going to cause a problem. Right? I can navigate, I can do things, but the moment I refresh, So mine looks like this now. I've got implicit authorization code and refresh token flows. I've got the rotation enabled, and I've got allow offline access and allow skipping. Layla, thank you very much for the raid. Appreciate it. Welcome in. Hello everyone. How you doing? How's your AI going, Layla? Cup of beer. Hello. How you doing? Don't do AI that well, huh? This week I started doing a little bit of game dev myself with Godot. I've never done it before, and I was having a lot of fun. So it's kind of difficult to work on other stuff now because I want to go and tinker with that. But we're having a whole different nightmare of our own today. So okay, well, welcome in all. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming in. I am working, or hopefully working on. Hi, Bombleblight. How you doing? I'm working on what I hope to be my own Jira, basically. I have some strong opinions about how we develop software, how we track changes, and how we request new features of software. And I'm trying to build my own system like that. Purely hobby project, but I would love to take it to a... Thank you for the follow, Layla. I would love to take it to a real place. So the last couple of days, though, I've been rebuilding the UI a little bit and trying to get it looking a little cleaner, a little bit more professional looking. And I've stumbled across a challenge that I've not had to deal with before. So ultimately, the idea will be that you sign into the application and you... Why can I not type this password without looking at the keyboard? I have no idea. Nope. So the goal will be basically the focus of this piece right now is planning. So the idea will be that you go in here as a product manager, etc. You create planning items, then you can track requirements against the planning items, etc. The UI looks very bad because I'm in between phasing in the new design, right? So I can add a planning item, I have a review date, and yeah, all those sort of fun things. The problem I'm having right now is actually one that I did not expect to be challenged by, which is that if I refresh this, my tokens become invalid because my cookies are invalid. This is driving me crazy because I follow the steps that Auth0 outline, and it is not working. Something to do with Chrome. Chrome is making changes to a third-party cookies, and you're not allowed non-secure or whatever third-party cookies. So the issue, actually, probably go to the Chrome issue here. So cookies with same-site non-secure and not partitioned that operate in cross-site contexts are third-party cookies. In future Chrome versions, reading third-party cookies will be blocked. So I've got to learn what that means. I've not dealt with that before. It's not where I wanted to be today. I wanted to be playing around with CSS and banging my head against the table that way. I need to go eat before. Sorry, Lael, I didn't say that. Thank you very much for the raid. I appreciate it. Hi, Isha. How are you doing? I forget that my name is on my YouTube channel, and on the stream it's not. On the Twitch stream it's just TBD. So, but how you doing? I have got Restream bot putting messages in to both chats, so it should help with any conversation. Okay, so I have got to figure out why this is not working. Basically, every time I refresh, I lose the cookies with this error. Right, it just puts an exclamation mark there. Cookies from may have been blocked due to third-party cookie phase out. I've just enabled. So I can communicate to Twitch audience from here. They'll see your messages and you can see their messages. So if someone types in Twitch, you'll see it as well. I just wanted to allow integration between the two communities and hopefully build up a better community on YouTube as well. And it should, all the messages should post on the screen in the little chat bubbles as well now. So maybe what I'm missing at this point is maybe I'm doing Auth0 client authentication incorrectly now. So Auth0 Angular auth. So Auth0 generally have a pretty good documentation system for how to configure their application stuff. I've got Auth0 Angular installed. When was this updated? No update date. Awesome. So I don't know whether this is the guide I followed last time or whether this is the yeah. So in my actually I'll be able to tell pretty quickly once I see code. In my configuration, my getting started, right, I have a domain, the client ID, my authorization params with a redirect URI, which is identical. That's identical, essentially. The scopes, I add user metadata and app metadata in there because I need to get the tenant and stuff from there. So that's why they're added in. That's okay. When I log in with redirect. That's fine. Login button, login with pop-up. That's fine. Log out again. That's fine. Interceptor, that's fine. Okay, so that documentation doesn't say anything's changed. Oh no, hold on. Let's test that. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it makes different cookies, because now that's redirecting away from... So that's taking me away from my site, right? I can, if I want to spend the money later, once I get it under a domain, I can actually make this look like mine. That's all the same cookies, so that refresh is going to do the exact same thing, right? So I can't see panograms. So look, whether it's redirect or pop-up, that doesn't matter. Logging with pop-up I like because it keeps me inside of my application, and that pop-up is just... I prefer that, but again, that's something I will look at when I come to user experience stuff later on. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing in here that's different. But I'm not doing anything explicitly with the flow here. The flow is handled by this, right? It's handled by the control. The only thing I need to control is that it doesn't create those cross-site cookies. So in this instance, what I need to do is I need to learn what I don't know, then learn how to find the answer to it. Third-party cookies, lot, Chrome 2024, saying goodbye, preparing. So according to Google, by the way, 1% of Chrome users have had this restricted. Here we go. Click the hold on. Click the eye icon. There's no eye icon. Let's do this. Let's I don't see no eye icon. The address bar for Chrome browsers that restrict third-party cookies will show an eye icon. So this isn't... Is this the problem or is this not the problem? Because I'm not being restricted according to that. But that's the problem. That the message there is... Okay, that's... Block in... Okay, let's change that. Let's see if it causes... Because if that fixes the problem, right now I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on to the UI stuff that I want to do, and it looks like that breaks it still. Okay, let's try that once more. So we've got third-party cookies enabled. Like, I wouldn't want to turn that on all the time. But, nope, that's still broken. It won't let me do it. So I'm in limbo here. I'm in a... I have the feature that they're talking about, but I'm not in the 1% to get the actual feature updates. Oh no, hold on. They get an error. So okay, so for browsers not in the 1% group. Okay, so this is actually what we'll get. Until you get if you get the red, then you're in that 1%. Okay, so I'm not in the rare few. Okay, so that's not terrible. I mean, it's still bad because why is this broken? Edge. Right. So if I do that, does it change its behavior at all? Right. There's the eye. So this, now I'm saying they're allowed, right? So if it's the problem, this won't cause an issue now. Huh. So now I'm in limbo because it's cleared my cookies out, but now it hasn't given me the error. That's frustrating. Let's do it that way. Oops, something went wrong. It's clearing my cookies though. Oh, what is it doing? Well, know that this is coming. All 0 clears cookie values after refresh. Okay, 2021. Wow. I'm not aware of any recent changes in sessions that I do. Changing the type of application does not affect this behavior. Suggest testing your application with third-party cookies blocked in the browser, not blocked. Custom domain or adjusting the cache location that is set in the auth0 provider component. Right, but that's not... I don't think I have access to that in here. So that would be in my app component. No, it wouldn't be in app config. Apex, thank you very much for the 4 months. Appreciate that. Hooray for all these things, yeah. Yeah, this this week is 5 years as an affiliate. So I was gonna try and do something tomorrow for this. Maybe a bit of a gaming stream. Okay, so that's that. Now we refresh. Oh. Okay. Oh. Five years, yeah. It's and still struggling with all the old things. I'll be around Sunday, but if you do something tomorrow, I'll try to check it out for a bit. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll probably do something this weekend. Probably more gaming than actual programming. Maybe a bit of both. But yeah, I figure I'd do something over the weekend because then I don't have to worry about the time. Although I do have Monday off as well, so I could take Monday, right? Monday will just be an extra long game dev stream. Okay, so what I did there is I just changed this to be cache location local storage. So now it's actually not using the cookies to store the tokens, right? It's using local storage. And the legacy stuff still lives in there because they're all within my my stuff anyway. Okay, that's awesome. It does. That isn't wasted time because that is time that I've now learned that is coming and that could be a problem. So to look for it, as I build this application, the likelihood is I'll have further integrations with other platforms, with other things, and those things could trip me up, right? If I have to, connect to my client, connect my client to those other sites, then that's something I have to be very careful about. So, but we have working screen for now. Cool. Let's go and actually commit that as a separate thing. Yeah. Set cache location for 0 to be local storage to prevent third-party cookie issues. So that's coming in 2024, whether we like it or not. So at least that will allow me to continue on with this and not have to stress. And I'm just sad that it took me a long time on the stream. Okay, so we want to overhaul this screen. The way I'm thinking of doing the screen is more grid-like, not quite as heavy though. We're not doing expands. I don't need expanded grids. I don't want to put it all in a grid, right? I want to put. I'm not even sure I want a grid. Jason, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome in. If anyone has questions about what I'm doing, if you want to know more about the technologies, you're genuinely interested in learning more about what I'm building, etc., I'm always open to discuss this stuff, right? I don't mind diverting. I don't have to be productive code-wise on stream if I can share what I'm doing. At this point, there's that much in the application that I'm not sure what would be useful to show. So that's why I've not jumped down into a code demo. This application is closed source right now because I do intend to make it a product. And I'm streaming it so that I can stream that experience of being a solo dev trying to build something that's quite large and unwieldy. It is built as a kind of modular monolith with services all over the place using Kafka and Service Bus, mass transit for Service Bus. We have API gateways and GraphQL, and there's all sorts of other buzzwords in there. So if there's any interest in knowing more about those things, I'm always happy to answer any questions. I'm in my weakest area right now, which is the client side, the Angular side, and we're going to get rid of all this stuff. So do I want that? It's there. I apologize for ads. So what I'm thinking, not pick list, data view. It's not an ordered list. Data view. Kind of is a data view, I suppose. Hey, Captain Fuba, how you doing? Loading. Table. So I think a table is a bit excessive. A simple table like this might be not bad, though. Let's have a look. Let's give it a go. Okay, so we're going to go to planning items. Planning items right now looks like this. Let's comment that out. Paste that in. Store.entities. We need ptable imported. And we need ph title. What don't you like about th? Add either an ID or scope attribute. What scope would that be? What? Defines the cells that the header relates to. The header relates to all cells of the column it belongs to. The header belongs to a row group and relates to all cells. Oh, so if I'm... Okay. Have you lorem ipsum some data to show? Well, I have data to show. In this case, I do have data to show, right? I have planning items that I've added. So in this case, I definitely have content to actually display on the page. Review date. We'll get to more specifics later. Created by. Assigned to. Let item. Title. Item dot. Yeah, the other pages, that's where it's going to get harder once I start to yeah. Let's have a look. Not bad. For first pass, that's not terrible. I don't dislike that. It's readable. Okay. I can live with that. They can go away. warning, bright screen coming. That's still pretty readable as a plain white grid, yeah. Okay. Let's get some formatting on there. So, do we have? Looks like there's lots of grid options. So, filter, sort. I'm not looking for those sorts of behaviors, really. What I want to do, and this might not be the best way of doing it. Row groups. Yeah, see, row group wouldn't do. Would it? So that is kind of what I want ultimately in one way or another. So if we look at the review dates, right? If a date, so I want past due as the highest priority, because the idea is you come into this screen and you see this data, and what you're looking for is the things you need to work on, right? That's your focus, right? What planning items do you need to review? So past due, obviously you need to review them. You need to say, hey, can I do anything about this? No, I can't. Move it out another week. So you push its review date back. That will trigger alerts, and people will get to know about that happening. Upcoming, i.e., this week, right? Within the current time frame, where are the planning items, and then beyond, right? Because you don't necessarily need to see everything. What you need to see is the things you need to care about and should review now. If you know you need to work on something else, then you're going to go searching for it anyway. So that's a different problem. So my two options are either build several grids, right? Build several of these and do like store entities, current period, past due, etc., and break them down that way, or try and figure out how to use the grid and do the nesting that way. It will mean that the column headers sit up here, but that's not really a big problem, is it? And date time formatting. So I'm open to any thoughts or opinions on those things as well, because it's, again, my usage, my understanding of the UI UX is different than everybody else's. So I can apply styles, that's fine. I can worry about styles later. Behavior first. Template. It's not the template I'm after necessarily. I mean, it's regular data. What am I doing? Pipe to offer a sorting option. Well, so sorting. There we go. Okay. So again, the intention of the review date is kind of a hard date. You can't avoid setting it. It must be set, and therefore that's why I'm going to try and group these by the time window they're in, right? So if they go, the majority of these would go to past due, right? Because with the exception of one, simple test would stay out here. Everything else should go to past due. If I create a new item, actually I should probably test this, shouldn't I? This is a make initiatives initiatives showing info cards for planning item progress, the initiatives panel allows to navigate in. This is one of those things where I'm going to type a lot of stuff and then be like, oh no, it didn't work. Assign to Jeffrey, assign projects, planning, tenant management, say, right? Or planning. I create that now. I get initiatives showing info, right? So that is a future item that's beyond 7 days. And therefore, I've said that I will review that next week, right? So sorting on the review date, I don't think is something I want to introduce because the review date is very much an integral part of the workflow, right? Name, with it, sorting within the groups, maybe. Sorting within the name, the created by, etc. If I go back to that now, if I refresh that, it will have Jeffrey Winkle, I think. Yeah. So, yeah. Technically, yeah, the review date should all, I mean, it's not because of my ineptitude with queries, apparently. But, yeah, it should be sorted by, and actually, if I make that change, it probably would make this visualization a lot easier, right? View. I've got to overhaul this as well. So get projects, get planning items. So that's this one. Query.where. Stop GraphQL. Descending. No, ascending is fine. And then there you go. That's a bit of a clearer visualization, I suppose. So these would go into past due now, right? So if I do, how do I do this? This is the hard part, right? Do I do it as separate grids? Well, if I do it as separate grids, I make different calls. If I use the features with row groups that I have available, I might be able to do this. But again, this all depends on whether I can actually create a custom row group. Group rows by property. When group row mode is set, subheader, header, and the footer can be displayed. Nah, I can't calculate that. Unless I can. We're not worried about responsive, etc. right now. The amount of data we should be getting should be pretty minimal. Hold on. Unless I can do that, I don't think I should be able to do. If I could do, let's do group rows by equals, let's see if I can do this. what's representative? Customer.representative.name review date. Right. Grouping. It's a date. I bet that breaks. It didn't break, but it didn't work either. Row group. Column group. That's just row group. Subheader. Row group mode. Sort mode. I don't think that's going to make a difference, but let's do that anyway. Be consistent. So I've decided, as a style that I'm following, that I want to make sure that all square I can't remember the name for it. The attribute access of things, these will always go to the end of the grouping. That's just a visual choice. Happy affiliate anniversary. Thank you very much, Mr. Jones. How are you doing? Nope. Group. Row group mode equals subheader. Row span. I feel I'm not making much change there. So what I'm currently trying to do is say these chunk at the top are all in past due. This is well, not this chunk. This one is current, and this one is upcoming. And make them collapsible sections. So I kind of want this behavior, but this should be a label. This is grouping by something that's not on the grid, which is fine. So it's an okay design. And it should auto expand this one. Expandable. State the expansions are controlled using expanded rows and on toggle. So maybe I need to do something with different with the template. Yes, I do. I do need to do something different with the template, don't I? Row expansion, group header. Yes, I do. Okay. So you have the template for the actual table. And then so what is group rows by going to give me? That's the actual row expansion, isn't it? this one. So that's the body, that's the header, that's the actual content. No, that's not that though. What is that? Oh yeah, okay, we do want a subheader. Group rows by. I'm not sure what the group rows by is doing for me. But we'll figure that out, I guess. So let's baby step this. So in the simplest form. Hey Profits, how you doing? In the simplest form, total customers, that's the group footer, group header. On the group header. Right, we're not doing it. Let's worry about expansion and stuff later. Right. But what is... I don't get this. Bob. There's Bob. So now let's see. Customer. Let's see what customer looks like. Object. Dot title. So it's the first one. So what's the point in that then? That's fine. Let's see now. We do this. So if review date is less than, there's no static in JavaScript for date, is there? Let, yeah, current date, then return as due. If review date is greater than or equal to current date, and that'll do. That's upcoming. Else return that's a current, upcoming. We'll worry about the naming, etc. If we can get it actually to group, that'd be awesome. Yeah, upcoming. It just took the last one it dealt with. Hello, the 8th. It just fed everything in as the 8th. So if I go in here and do group rows by equals review date, how does that change the behavior? Okay. So let's do group roles by... Does that change any behavior? No, everything becomes upcoming. Interesting. Everything's the 8th again. My thought was that it was producing a unique value. So can we do... Does that work? Does that exist in a component? It's not what I want to do exactly. Well, it's still passing everything the 8th in there. That's the closest to it, right? But that's reviewing. That's... So I kind of want a calculated column, I suppose. Oh dear. That's annoying. Remove. There you go. So if I could create a calculated field, CSS is tough. Yeah, I mean, right now I'm working on this client framework, right? But yeah, so what I'm trying to do with this is I realized that the styling and everything was not really perfect, and I wanted to improve things, and I introduced a library. Don't tell Deflux. He was pushing to get a UI library in there. And I was arguing that wasn't the point, but it was. But I want to get the workflows in there, right? So I want to figure out how I want to see things, but also how I want to step through and do things. And I'm only going to be able to achieve that if I can put these pieces in place. So I'm trying to gradually get the styling worked out, and build out the application. What I'm working on right this second, though, is I need to kind of figure out if I can calculate an extra column. Of course I can. What am I doing? If I go to planning item, right? It's an interface. No behavior. So my thought there would be to add an extra column on here, which is actually going to take this and do that grouping for me. But nothing to say. So this is the ultimately I want to say, okay, if it's before today, then it's past due. If it's greater than today and within 7 days, then it's current, otherwise it's upcoming. To try and prioritize the review of this work, right? Because again, these items should be prioritized first because you've let them lapse. It could be a case of going into them and updating the review date and saying, no, let's do that next month. I don't need to touch that. But it's making sure people look at things and don't get to ignore them. What I was hoping to do is just kind of group it and return this label, and then that would work by, just saying, okay, yeah, I'll I group them by the label return, but it doesn't look like it's executing. And if I do, it's using custom CSS and no material. No, I'm not using custom CSS. I'm actually using, so this is the control set is prime-ng, and then I'm using prime-ng with Tailwind. So I'm using Tailwind for layout, and then prime-ng for actually Tailwind to kind of get the overall layout. So it's not perfect. I've got a lot of styling to do, a lot of layout to do. No, I just typed sudo rm rf / instead of. That's not good, Yuki. No, I have no idea what you could do there. Unless you have a backup. Does the review date take time into account? Grouping might fail because of different times. Review date it's a date only. I just deleted hundreds of files. Yeah, I've I don't know when the last time I was committed. Ouch. That's a tough one. Huh? Hours of work wasted. Mistakes happen. You can't. I mean, you know, it's not easy to look back on and think, oh no, but that's a good point. Okay. Gotcha. Time shouldn't be actually involved in this because the time should be planning items. This should be date objects primarily. Review date has no concept of time because it's a date on which it should be reviewed. Yeah, there's no time attached. I mean, adds, but what about dynamic table columns? Should be able to do that with ng4. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, it feels like I should have. Gotcha. So you're working in the VM and, okay, there was you didn't commit and then you made that mistake. Okay. So here's how this works. Planning items comes from the signal store, right? So I'm using ngrx signal stores, probably incorrectly, but we'll come back around on that later. So the planning item store itself has these queries, and I have load all and load detail for. So when I load all for planning items, I go to the planning items service, which is here, and this has the GraphQL components added into it, right? So the GraphQL query is here. I pull down review date there and then map it so I get the data out of there as planning items. So I'm going to be a Windows. Mistakes happen. Don't stress it. You can't undo it. When something like that happens, you just got to learn and move on. I mean, you can be irritated, but I'm not saying that. But in the same, you can't do much about it, is what I'm saying. So this returns an array of planning items. So planning items gets up into here through that. So then I just go into here and say store.entities, and that gives me all the planning items. At least I didn't owe as much as I do to delete the entire prod DB in my last summer internship. Yeah, that's a problem. It is a primary reason why, though, when you're working on stuff, you just gotta take your time and focus and not try to get flustered or rush through something. Well, then use a backup system says, well, yeah, you got to look on that as a learning moment, right? Oh no, I've run out of time. Spent too long on that auth0 thing. What are you like now? Oh yeah, it wants key presses for accessibility and stuff that I need to do. That will be an entire different pass. Okay, so what I was thinking was, okay, if I can't group by review date, then maybe I could put a calculated column on there, right? But that's something I probably want to do multiple places, so maybe I want to use this, but this is an interface, not a class. If I make this a class, it changes its behavior, right? How do I do this now? There's a reason I did this part, and I can't remember why. That's not really good. I have models all over the place, so I probably want to consolidate these at some point. But my initial thought was, oh well, I could just put a grouping category on here, right? And it will be a essentially a method that would return the review date, whatever. Being it's an interface, I can't do that behavior. So the question comes, where's the right place to do it? Well, what I can do is transform the data. So on the NG signal store, on NGRX signal store, what I can do is create a feature for I do it. Where else do I do it? Do I do it on? That's just that. With methods, there's a services. Planning stores, projects. With computed. So projects I can't guarantee a return in order, so you can put this with computed method on. And what I can do is I could actually return the entities mapped with that extra category on there. So I could kind of create a sub object or a kind of a proxy around my planning item that contains the extra column. So that would be one way of doing it. And that would be reusable. I just don't know where else I would be using this thing. So that's where I need to question this. Like, what effort should I do there? But unfortunately, that is my time up. This weekend, I will likely be around a few streams. Bit random because it's a weekend, and I don't often know what sort of time I have. This weekend is my 5-year Twitch affiliate anniversary, so I will be playing some games, and then on Monday it's a long weekend here in the US, and I will be spending a lot more time on the game dev on Monday. So we're going to start with some water admin stuff, and then move to game dev. Check out group by from RxJS. Would that help? So so that's actually pretty much what I'd be doing if I did it in here, right? And the problem is the grid component is giving me the grouping, right? I'm just giving it a label by which to group by. I just need to calculate this label. So if I can create a kind of projection of the planning items that contains that calculation, then I should be able to get this to group by that neatly. So we're going to do that. So thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, and that's essentially using the reactive extension stuff is where that's going to head. Thanks for the stream. Sorry you felt like it was a lot of work and stuff you didn't want to do, but it was still cool to hang out with you while you were. One line, thank you very much for coming hanging out. I do appreciate it as always. I'm pretty sure everyone in here knows who One Line is, but I will be there later on for Community Day in One Line stream. So, so yeah, there's One Line. Thank you very much to Layla for the raid and bringing people in. Yeah, I'll be back over the weekend and definitely back on Monday morning at my regular time. So, thanks for joining me. Let's go raid. We're going to raid Mr. Boucheros. Mr. Boucher. Frank is developing an app using C# and Blazor, and he's building for a dungeon game. So, yeah. And thank you for joining me. Have a great weekend. And if I don't see you around, I'll see you later. Take care all. Bye.